He voiced it as a simple jest. I am reclaiming my original surname. Yours is completely humiliating. I did not flinch or frown, I just offered a smile. The kind that conceals a sharp edge, and replied, that is entirely your decision. He laughed, assuming I was behaving maturely. However, my silence was not a sign of surrender, it was strategic planning. I was aware of something he was not. Everything he possessed, everything. He utilized everything he claimed to be was tied to that humiliating name, my name. When we first met, he was penniless, charming, and full of grand pronouncements that never aligned with his bank balance. He called me the reliable one, said I provided stability for him. I should have recognized that was a subtle request for financing his goals. I engineered our life from the beginning, registered our enterprise under my name, consolidated our financial accounts, secured the home mortgage, using my excellent credit, and even listed him as an authorized user on every facility. He often declared, you are the driving force behind our progress. I trusted him because back then affection made me generous and generosity made me oblivious. The betrayal was not dramatic. It was gradual, like the onset of corrosion. First came the emotional distance, the late arrival's home, the unfamiliar scent of cologne, the shielded phone screen. Then a text message I was not supposed to notice. A woman's name stored under Trevor. We're cute. When I confronted him, he merely smiled. You are making a big deal out of nothing. He always used that phrase as if manipulating me would somehow eliminate my intuition. That evening, I observed him sleeping next to me and made a silent commitment. I would never raise my voice. I would never weep again. I would quietly dismantle his life, piece by piece, exactly as he had dismantled my faith. The first move was undetectable. I telephoned our financial institution, changed access codes, and promptly removed him from every shared account. Calmly, methodically, then the charge cards, then the utility services, then the vehicle. Everything we owned had been acquired, financed, or covered by insurance under my name, the very name he found so shameful. It was straightforward. I had signed every legal document. I was the sole legal proprietor of nearly everything he boasted about providing, even the business operating permit was in my name as the sole owner. I allowed him 7 days. I let him enjoy his false sense of freedom. Then came his announcement. He stood in the kitchen that morning holding his coffee cup and said with that self-satisfied smirk, I submitted the paperwork today. I am returning to my former name. It feels liberating, you know? I glanced up from my laptop and smiled. That is great for you. He believed that was the conclusion of the matter. He thought I would simply accept it. But independence has a cost, and I was finished paying for his. The next couple of days were quiet until his bank cards began to fail. It began small. A transaction rejection at the petrol station, then at the grocery store. Then the house payment was rejected. He stormed into the room, his face flushed, waving his useless debit card. Something is seriously wrong with the accounts. I looked at him with feigned confusion. Oh, perhaps you should contact your bank. You mentioned you were taking back your old name, right? He hesitated. Yes, but he stammered. Then you will need to open new accounts under your name. The ones under mine, well, I assumed you no longer wanted to be linked with them. He froze. That was the instant he understood how profoundly the existence of my name was woven into his life. Within a few hours, he realized he could not access the car agreement, could not log into the business account, could not settle the household invoices. Even his mobile service was connected to me. He yelled, cursed, and labeled me controlling. I remained composed. You wanted your name back, I stated. I respected your wishes. He called me heartless. I called it organizational upkeep. He started packing his belongings, or tried to. Half of what he packed was not legally his property. When he attempted to take the car, I showed him the registration document. When he tried to take the computer, I showed him the purchase receipt. Every protest he made ended with the same simple question from me. Is your name officially on this? Silence became my preferred sound. He departed that night with a gym bag and a bruised ego. I watched from the window as he stumbled out into the rain, muttering about my immense cruelty, but cruelty would have been making it last. What I provided was exact justice, clean, precise, and carried out in complete silence. A few months passed, and mutual acquaintances informed me he was living in a modest apartment in another part of the city, beginning anew. He had informed people I had financially ruined him. Perhaps I had, but honestly, he did that himself. The day he decided my surname was not worthy of keeping. Sometimes when I check my post, I still see mail addressed with his former surname. My surname, I do not open them. I simply smile and feed them into the shredding machine. That name he considered so humiliating. It is still printed on every asset, every permit, every account he once touched. It turns out the name was not the problem. It was the man who could not live up to it.